Well, good morning, everybody. Woo! It is sticky. It is sticky here. You know, when you feel like you're you're wearing the air. That's how thick it is. My butt cheeks are stuck together. My hair is all wadded up on top of my head. You would not want to see this hot mess. There's my girlfriend Gina. Melanie set 106 today. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. You're getting it hotter down there, girl. You're getting it hotter down there by the Red River. My goodness. True Crime Beats. It's supposed to feel like 101 here today. All right, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to make this disclaimer again for True Crime Beat. Girl, I love you. But when you live in Florida, you don't get to complain about the weather. Damn, True Crime Beat. You know I love you. Oh, hang on. Well, look who's back. Paper Slut. Where have you been? What rock around the YouTube streets have you been hiding under? Paper Slut. To what do we owe the pleasure? Damn. Well, today is a very special day because it is finally KK's birthday, even though we sang it to her on Tuesday. We're going to do it again. She got 2 birthday shout outs this week. Now, KK, how old are you this year? How many times have you been around the sun? OJ, it's not your birthday. You can go ahead and get down. Every time he hears the birthday music, well, actually, anytime he hears anything going on in here, he jumps right up. But that's okay for my kitty that I love all the time. That's okay. He probably knows his Aunt Gina's in here right now. He loves Gina. If I'm on the phone with Gina and she starts talking, he starts rubbing his ear to the phone to listen to her. LOL, Cal Weather Channel said, good morning, Brooks. Well, good morning to you. KK, how old are you today? Now, we're never embarrassed about our ages in here. I'll let you just marinate on that. And in the time being, we're going to tell all our friends good morning. KK turned 30 today. KK turned 30. I'm going to use Diana Howery's term when she talks about people's birthdays. She always goes, you're just a baby. You're just a baby, KK. Our little baby KK. I'm not buying it, made it in. She said, good morning, Brooks. I'm late. Who's having a birthday? KK, she's 30 today. Karen wishes she was 30 again. Hell, I wouldn't know what to do if I was 30. Shit, have all that energy and better time management and shit. Horrible with money, but a lot of other stuff are going good for us, you know? Damn, I wouldn't know what to do. Remember when you were younger, you wouldn't even think about getting to the next week or the next 2 weeks. It's like you got $5, you just spend it, and then you're sitting there donkey dick broke, and you're like, what am I going to do now? What am I going to do now? What are you going to do now? What are we going to do now? What do you all think about Daniel, Malaya, Janie, Justin, and most importantly, Lily and Jack? They are still missing. My friends, today is July 17th, 2025. We're coming on 3 months. Now, I did see that the local authorities want to do some specific testing on the pink blanket. Woo! Woo! We're going to get to that in just a second. First, let's get to your comments from the last show. Remember, if I showcase your after show comment, you could possibly win a prize. We know who won it last month. Our new crime fighter. Kim Cassidy said, the sister said she's been keeping quiet. Why? Explanation mark, explanation mark, explanation mark. She's looking for her couple days in the news. Why didn't she tell authorities at the time? Mrs. Katie, I agree with that. If you have credible information and you know the people involved, you need to be talking. And I don't mean talking to me. You need to be talking to the authorities. Lisa Osen, we were talking a lot about the landfill, talking about the dump. She said they may not have to have a search warrant for the landfill, she said, which we call a dump. Interesting. I don't know how it works there. I'm learning something new all the time. I really am. Mrs. Katie McDonald corrected me and said that is not the 911 call. That is the dispatch recording. And she's right. It is the dispatch side of the 911 call. All right? Mary Edwards said any normal parent wouldn't be able to have a normal life if their kids are missing. I truly believe they are all guilty of what happened to those precious little ones. Woo! Like I said, you all had a lot to say. You had a lot to say. Now let's go back through what Malaya's sister, the bomb she dropped on us. Can I say bomb on YouTube? I don't want my friends in Spokane, Washington to hear me say things or do things I'm not supposed to do. And this is from World Entertainment. Okay, they have about 5,000 subscribers. Need to get them some more. I don't want to upset my friends in Spokane, Washington. So let's please go through this again because her sister had a lot to say.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will be looking at the bombshell that Malaya's sister has just dropped. And this includes an altercation on the property and a pink blanket possibly being planted. So recently, Malaya's sister has spoken out, and she decides to give us information that makes Daniel look like he's the problem.
Blanket taken back to Malaya, who basically identified and said, yes, that looks like it could be Lily's blanket. Oh, here she comes. Good. It's much better if somebody who was there actually. Welcome, Haley.
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
Yeah, so just touching on the subject of the blanket, I've kept pretty quiet. I have a son of my own right, and Lily and Jack are my niece and nephew. But yeah, the subject of the blanket, it was found on a tree branch on Lansdowne Station Road in the evening of day one. Okay. It was used, or the other part of the blanket was used for a window or a door at the home, and it was thrown out. And this one just ended up on a tree, I guess. But yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, so Malaya's sister. Now, this came out in the news yesterday. This is from Global News. Nova Scotia missing kids, pink blanket belonging to Lily is being examined according to the RCMP. Okay. In a Wednesday update, which was yesterday, RCMP said they are conducting forensic examination on materials found during ground and air searches, including on a pink blanket that officers seized. So as much as people want to say that the sister's full of kahooey and she made this all up, well, they're doing forensics on the blanket. All right. Corporal Carly McCann told reporters the blanket was located and seized very early in the investigation. It was outside and found near Lily and Jack's home. This is important considering that the sister, well, is explaining it.
On Lansdowne Station Road in the evening of day one.
Okay.
It was used, or the other part of the blanket was used for a window or a door at the home, and it was thrown out. And this one just ended up on a tree, I guess. But yeah.
Interesting. And so you guys, I understand one of you took a photograph of the blanket and took it back to Malaya for identification.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes in these cases, people say that the police severely messed up in the beginning. You hear it a lot in Sebastian's case. Well, they mishandled the investigation in the beginning. Well, they were looking for Sebastian. I'm already hearing it about this. Now then, here's the question. 2 missing children, got all this stuff going on around the property. You come across this blanket. Do you text a picture of it to your sister? Or do you make sure that the authorities get it? Because more times than not, where investigations get messed up, it's by the people that are, I'll say, around. Because remember, they said yesterday they're doing forensic testing on that blanket.
Yes, Hayden and I did. Yeah.
Okay. And then she said, yeah, it is. And so you called the police who went and, I guess, collected it?
Yeah. No, the police were already down searching that area, but it was in such an open spot that cops were already down there and it wasn't seen earlier on. So it's just all a little mysterious, you know?
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So was search and rescue in that area?
I don't believe on day one right down there right away. So I was there from the get-go of when everything started.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I don't know how it was missed because it was right on like the start of like a logging road or ATV trail right by the main Lansdowne Station Road.
Okay, and now it has come out that Daniel's mama and Daniel's brother were on that ATV trail. We'll get to that in a minute. USA Libertarian said if there is a 0.1% chance the kids are still alive, I'm fine with the cops looking for them. 1,000%. You review all the videos you need to do, even if you see the same one 150,000 times. Get forensics on everything. Now, in that rat trap that they lived in, I don't know where you would start, but that's above my pay grade. It really, truly is. Just ask my friends in Spokane, Washington.
The dirt road, but yeah.
Okay. All right. And the other half, right, was found in the garbage.
I believe so. I wasn't back at the house for that to know that, but that's what I'm hearing. Yeah, that's what Logan said. And yeah, so.
Which is really peculiar, right? Like how, if the blanket was put in the garbage, how did it get out of the garbage and half of it get into a tree, right?
And I mean, quite a ways down the road, like down the paved road from where they lived, up a dirt road, a good at least mile or two. So yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a head scratcher for anybody, right?
So there is a situation with a blanket that Malaya has said could be Lily's. And
It's not a head scratcher now because the authorities have said as of yesterday that they are starting forensic testing on a lot of things, but they specifically named the pink blanket. Now, I don't want to get grim. I don't want to get gross. I don't want to put ideas out there that we cannot prove. But I immediately went to the Chris Watts case when they were doing forensic testing on the blankets, and they knew that the blankets were used to suffocate Cece and Bella. Also remember, this particular blanket was thrown away, torn in half, and for whatever reason, part of it was found outside the dumpster. I am not saying that's the case. I'm saying that's where my little pea brain went.
And it was found on a tree branch on the first day of searching at nighttime. The problem with this is that where the blanket was found is in a place that was already searched and it wasn't there before. So how does it just turn up later on that night? That is really suspicious. Then we hear that this blanket was actually put in the bin, and then somehow it went from the bin to being split in half, and one half of it was in a tree that was about a mile or two away from the property. That literally makes no sense, and that doesn't happen for no reason. So if this is Lily's blanket...
Well, if somebody was in a hurry because the popo's on the way, the popo's in the area, and they want to hide said blanket, then they will make sure to put it somewhere else. Now we go to more speculation. We have recently found out from our friend Justin's channel that morning, Daniel's mom and brother were on the ATV trail. I'm right there with you, Butterfly Kisses. I love that song too. Things that make you go, Things that make you go, Exactly where I'm at. Now, last week I thought it was planted evidence. Now I think it's hidden evidence. Somebody was hiding it.
That was found in the tree. Then who put it there? And how does this link to Malaya putting them in a car? Instead, this could suggest that maybe the story about Malaya isn't true and something else has happened. And I do think there's something not quite right about this blanket.
Kat is asking, how are you and how is Malaya doing?
Things are, well, everything's touch and go. The subject is very touchy for family. Malaya's trying to live somewhat of a normal life. She shouldn't be expected to sit in the house and be miserable. She can have a life too, right? We don't know what happened. I only know from what I was told. I obviously wasn't there when the kids went missing, but she deserves to not be ridiculed as well, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I'm not sticking up for anybody in the situation. I know as much as everybody else about what had happened with the children, right? So
yeah. I mean, it's a tragedy. And I think that what adds to it is the time that has gone on, right? That just simply adds to the stress. I mean, if the police would could figure out what happened, and Lily and Jack could be found, it would give people.
The sister's saying, okay, her 2 children are missing. We know she's been, going shopping. She had a day at the beach. That got put on Instagram and all that. Well, she just can't sit in the house and be miserable. Malaya, I take pride in sitting around the house being miserable. I can show you my ways. I can show you how it's done, hun. Matter of fact, I can introduce you to some great ladies that'll show you exactly how to sit around and be miserable. Okay? I promise you'll make it. I promise you will. But if you're out there looking for you a new boyfriend, well, that's going to come out. She's not the type of chickie poo that's alone for very long. Okay, ladies?
People a sense of at least everybody would know what happened, right?
Well, yeah, it's to the point where it's 2 months too long. As family, like we're hurting over this. Like it's a lot. And I mean, there's been a lot of things going around.
So she then speaks about Malaya and says that she's trying to live somewhat of a normal life, and she can't be expected to stay indoors and be miserable. And I'm guessing Malaya's sister is referring to the beach trip that took place when she says that. And again, Malaya's sister is saying that they have no idea what happened. So obviously she is going against what Daniel has said. At the moment, you literally have Daniel's theory, which is that Jack and Lily were put in a car by Malaya, and then you have Malaya saying she has no idea what happened. Police haven't given us any information, so we don't even know if the car theory is correct, because nothing...
The car theory cannot be correct because, like I said, we're at 2.5 months. Okay? We're at 2.5 months. Today's July 17th. 2.5 months. By now, they would have figured all that out. Now, let me ask you all something. I guess I should have put a poll up. Do you think they're going to find something forensically criminal on that pink blanket that has been mentioned over and over and over? We heard about the pink blanket back in May. It was brought up again a few weeks later. Sister here, again, talking about the pink blanket. Law enforcement said yesterday they are going to do forensic testing on the pink blanket. Are they doing this forensic testing so people quit calling them about the pink blanket? I already got it right here. 2 Boston moms. How long would it take getting results? Oh, I have no idea. Diana said, nope. Mike said, nope. Baby Kisses said, nope. Don't think you're going to find anything on it. All righty. The jury has spoken.
has been confirmed.
That's very much misinformation. Like people are just wild in the Facebook groups. I've stayed quiet.
Thank you, Haley. Thank you.
Like I'm in them, but I stay quiet because I have a son at home that I still need to keep life normal for him, right? But people are starting to figure out who I am, how I'm connected. So I figured, I would give my peace of mind and what I know because people are starting to message and ask. But, I do just want to touch on a subject, though.
Absolutely.
The family altercation that happened in the driveway. I was there for that. So there's a big piece that Logan has left out, and I'm ready to share that because we all know and have not said anything. But it's a very crucial point that they seem to be skipping over. So this was just before the briefing, if I can remember quite right here. We were all in the house and Dan was in the bathroom. And when I say we, I'm talking about my sister-in-law, her sister, Leia's mother, my partner. And we were all in the kitchen and we heard like things rustling around in the bathroom. We're like, what the hell?
Okay. Dan's in the bathroom. 2 kids are missing. Popo's getting ready to start breathing down their neck, and they hear a bunch of wrestling around in the bathroom. Johnny wants to know, were the kids even there that day? I mean, was this all staged to look like they went missing? That is a very common theory that people have. That something happened the night before, some people say. And undetected, they were moved somewhere, okay? Some people say they don't think they ever made it back from the shopping trip on May 1st. I don't know.
So my stepmom went and knocked on the door and was like, damn, what's going on? Are you all right? Anyway, my sister-in-law went in and said she needs to use the bathroom. So he came out and he's kind of like hovering.
Haley,
And-
sorry, Haley. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but just because my mind's sort of going crazy with trying to figure out and keep people straight. Who is your sister-in-law?
So Shelby, Cheryl said I was her sister-in-law. It's like confusing, but Shelby's with my brother. She's my sister-in-law, and Cheryl is Shelby's sister. So
Okay,
yeah.
all right. Okay, just to get it straight as to who we're talking about so that people in chat sort of know. Anyway, go ahead.
So like he was wrestling some things around in the bathroom. And we went in to kind of investigate after him. And there was drugs. Drugs was involved, and that's what fueled the family altercation in the driveway. And I'll be the one to say that because I got so freaking mad after this was found out, because then I said to him, I said, that's exactly why you're acting the way you are, running around like a madman.
She's the eyewitness, not me. That's the reason why you're running around like a madman. You got all the rugs in the bathroom. Why in the hell is a family going to sit there and fight over their fix as opposed to find the children? Someone, please explain that to me. Someone, please explain that to me. We know there was a huge argument. We know that. We know Malaya got kicked off the property. We know she left. She left the day after her children went missing, even though the police said, make sure the mother stays home, which is a common thing to say. We hear it in a lot of cases. Well, how come she's not out looking? Well, because the police said to stay right there in case your kids come back. That's what they say. And I do have questions. If you have all of these illicit substances around, obviously the cops have bigger fish to fry right now. Why aren't they all in jail? On our last show, a gentleman was up here and he said if it's just minimal amounts, they're really not going to do anything with it. Minimal amounts of what? I don't know. I don't know what they were hiding in the bathroom. I really don't.
Shelby's with my brother. She's my sister-in-law, and Cheryl is Shelby's sister. So
Okay,
yeah.
all right. Okay, just to get it straight as to who we're talking about so that people in chat sort of know. Anyway, go ahead.
So like he was wrestling some things around in the bathroom. And we went in to kind of investigate after him. And there was drugs. Drugs was involved, and that's what fueled the family altercation in the driveway. And I'll be the one to say that because I got so freaking mad after this was found out, because then I said to him, I said, that's exactly why you're acting the way you are, running around like a madman, acting like you're doing everything and everybody's just sitting back, like relaxing. Like nobody was, but nobody was running around like a chicken with their head cut off because we weren't on drugs. Do you know what I mean? But that's what the altercation.
Yeah. She's like, that's the reason they're running around looking like madmen. They're all acting like freaking spider monkeys, jacked up on Mountain Dew, crawling around the trailer, making a big old mess in the bathroom. I don't know how you would know if it's a mess or not. I don't even know. Hiding all the drugs. Well, is that it? When a child goes missing, all right, we've heard it over and over and over. Seconds count. Seconds count. But they were more concerned about their substances than finding the children. And I know already there's a lot of people very divided on this case. They're like, doesn't seem to me that Daniel would do anything. Then you have people saying, Malea's an abused woman. She didn't even know what a drug was. She was trying to get out of there. Don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. These are grown ass people that know if they can't find 2 babies, then the last thing you need to be worried about is your booger sugar in the bathroom. And old sister, you can tell with the way she's laughing about this, she considers herself just a tad bit better than her sister Malaya.
Acting the way you are, running around like a madman, acting like you're doing everything and everybody's just sitting back, like relaxing. Like nobody was, but nobody was running around like a chicken with their head cut off because we weren't on drugs. Do you know what I mean? But that's what the altercation was, because I was like, I confronted his family. It was actually me. And I said, what the hell, guys? Like, what's going on here? Like, why is that involved? My sister broke down and she admitted that he's been on it for 2 years or so. And yeah, so they all got very, very mad when that came about. And they all kind of said, you know what? We already knew that. Well, if you knew that, why the hell is there children in a home with somebody like that? Like, why aren't you protecting the kids that way? Like, do you know what I mean?
Okay.
The last thing that gets talked about is the altercation that happened at the property. And it looks like everyone turned up. And while Malea's sister, Haley, and her other relatives were in the kitchen, they heard Daniel in the bathroom and started asking him if he was all right. Anyway, Haley's sister-in-law then asks to use the bathroom and Daniel comes out. Then apparently they go in and investigate, like they were already suspicious of Daniel for some reason. Maybe after seeing the state of the house. But they ended up finding illegal substances in the bathroom and Daniel had allegedly been using them. Then a big argument erupted, and it turns out Daniel has apparently been using illegal substances for 2 years, which obviously means you don't want kids to be around that. But I'm trying to work out how this helps find Jack and Lily. Like, where are they then? Because that's the most important thing at the moment. If Haley is saying her and Malaya have no idea where Jack and Lily are, then they need to focus on finding out what happened. Unfortunately, one side of the family is lying, or they both could be. But who do you guys think is being the most untruthful and why?
I couldn't tell you who's being the most untruthful. I can understand anyone that has something to hide being untruthful or skating around the questions. Well, I'll tell you what, Mike's not skating around nothing. Look at that, a $10 super sticker. Mike, thank you so much. By the way, Mike is the dude that makes the awesome ornaments that many of you have received as gifts. Now this year, we're going to get it together much earlier and get our orders in, well, before people even start thinking about Christmas. You know, last night I had a dream. I put up my Christmas tree and that my husband took it down. That's how wild my brain is. That is how wild my brain is. If anybody wants pictures of the ornaments he makes, you know where to find me. Thank you again, Mike. That really means a lot to me. Thank you so much. All right, now let's look at this latest update. I got to keep my friends in Spokane happy. This is from City News. It is Nova Scotia missing kids. RCMP continue intensive search despite criticism. No, I'm not fucking with Spokane, Washington. No more.
Intensive investigation into the disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan continues. The investigative team in the Northeast Nova RCMP Major Crimes Unit is leading the investigational efforts under the Missing Persons Act. They are assisted by RCMP units in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Ontario, along with the National Centre for Missing Persons and Unidentified Remains, the Canadian Centre for Child Protection, and provincial and municipal police agencies from Nova Scotia and other parts of Canada. Their efforts include reviewing approximately 5,000 video files that have been
Holy hell. They are still reviewing 5,000 video files. Imagine how hard it is to do your job. Now, Hawkins County, Tennessee, never mind on that one. But imagine how hard it is to do your job when you have John Q. Public out there doing this. You guys suck. What you should do is, have you looked in the landfill? Have you checked behind? Have you done this? It's got to drive you crazy when you're trying to do your job and you're trying to do an important job. And you have to do your job right. You're not running the YouTube group. You don't have a YouTube channel. You're talking about providing concrete evidence to a jury. So when I hear things like this and they're explaining to the public what they're doing, hold on. Rexy, this isn't my mic? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, I did not know that. So whatever Mike just left me $10, you all aren't going to see any handcrafted ornaments from that mic. But I still appreciate the super sticker, okay? It's not Rexy's husband. Damn it. Damn it. Either way, thanks, Mike. Fuck.
Reviewing approximately 5,000 video files that have been obtained through a video canvas of Lansdowne Station and the surrounding areas, assessing more than 600 tips from the public, formally interviewing more than 60 people, including the administration of polygraph tests to some individuals, forensic examination of materials located through ground and air searches in Lansdowne Station, including a pink blanket that officers seized on Lansdowne Road, and submitting judicial authorizations to seize and examine materials and devices that may provide information useful to the investigation. Right now, there are more than 800 tasks associated to this investigation. A tremendous amount of careful, deliberate investigative work is underway by people here at home and in other parts of Canada. Our collective efforts will continue every day until we determine with certainty the circumstances surrounding Lily and Jack's disappearance.
Boy, kind of sounds like some other cases we've heard. That we have all of this evidence to go through. And then we have to figure out the circumstances surrounding the disappearance. The circumstances surrounding the disappearance. I can think of some other cases, some children that are still missing, but they have said the same thing.
Investigators encourage anyone with specific information on the whereabouts of Lily and Jack to call the Northeast Nova RCMP Major Crime Unit. To remain anonymous, contact Nova Scotia Crime Stoppers either by phone, through their website, or use the P3 Tips app.
People close to the investigation have expressed concern that the case now lacks urgency. How do you respond to that?
An RCMP family liaison is in regular contact with a designated relative of Lily and Jack. The RCMP family liaison provides ongoing updates and support to the family so that they are aware of what is going on with the investigation and the information that can be provided to them. The family liaison officer is a member of Major Crimes. So information is absolutely provided to the family through the people who have been designated to share those communications.
Okay. I mean, they're being transparent. They're just not going to tell us what they're finding. We wouldn't expect them to. Chrissy busting balls. I got a job for you, Chrissy. Rexy, I didn't mean anything nasty by it. No, honey, I'm the one that's embarrassed. I'm sitting there thinking your husband telling people to order ornaments. The whole wrong ass person. Imagine how the Mike that just left the money feels sitting there going, I don't make ornaments. Imagine how he feels right now. Going, I don't want all these people asking me to make ornaments. I don't make shit. Hey, Jinbug. So we'll go ahead. The onus is on me. I have the wrong person. Go ahead and just give me Idiot of the Week. Well, thank you. I'm not buying it. She said, Miss Brooks, you do magnificent work. We love you. Well, I love you too. Thank you for the super sticker. All right. Our friend Justin. He had Daniel in his chat. Yes. You know, the Daniel that they say doesn't pay any attention to YouTube. All right. Well, we got it cleared up now. Mike said, sorry, he had internet issues. He's not the Mike that makes gifts. All right? He's not the Mike that makes gifts. He just gave me a gift today. He put in a super sticker. Nobody contact Mike here to get homemade ornaments. Don't. Okay? I apologize for that, Mike. That was very rude of me. We still think you're awesome, Mike. All right, so our friend Justin put out some new details regarding Daniel's mama, Daniel's brother, and some things that were going on that morning.
Let's go. Oh, hold on. How many thumbs up do we got? We only have 459 likes.
Oh, damn. How many likes do I have? I don't ever check that stuff. I am a horrible hostess. I am. I'm a horrible hostess. You come to my house for Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever. I'm like, there's the plates, there's the food, there's the trash can. Horrible hostess. I never ask those things.
I would like a chicken party on my birthday. Come on now.
No problem. I'm sorry, people, but I do not accept friends' requests, so please don't send them to me.
Important shit right there. Important shit right there. That lady just made the announcement. I believe this is Janie. We may have to listen to this a couple of times. You can tell this is a Facebook phone call because you hear the. She doesn't take Facebook requests. She doesn't take those friend requests. Well, I'm not trying to be her friend. Okay. Major breaking news. Janie don't want to be your friend. Okay. Janie does not want to be your friend. Don't even try to friend her on Facebook.
Is there anything else you want me to clear up? Because I'm going to bed soon. So if you got any questions, ask them now. Okay, I already answered this question. My brother called me at 8:48 and asked me if I wanted to go to town. I said no, I was going back to bed. So I laid back down. I was playing on Facebook. I dozed off. I'm not sure what exactly time. I didn't look at the clock. My dog woke me up. I heard the kids outside. And then I dozed back off again. And the next thing you know, I heard Daniel hollering Jack and Lily's name. Then about maybe 5-10 minutes after I heard him, I'm not sure exact what time because I didn't look at the clock.
Okay. This is Janie talking. It's on Facebook. It's all over Facebook.
Yeah, Justin knows how to use Facebook. This is Janie. This is Janie. This is Daniel's mom, who does not want to be friends with any of our asses, okay? So listen, here we go.
Oh, nope. 1 second. If I'm over, okay, okay, that'll work then. All right, y'all ready? Let's go. Oh, hold on. How many thumbs up do we got? How many thumbs up do we got? We only have 459 likes. I would like a chicken party on my birthday. I would like a chicken party on my birthday. Come on now.
No problem. I'm sorry, people, but I do not accept friends' requests, so please don't send them to me. Is there anything else you want me to clear up? Because I'm going.
I can only imagine the people that are trying to add her as a friend on Facebook. I can only imagine. One comes to mind. And I have a feeling she's going to be changing her high school to Nova Scotia High real soon.
Going to bed soon. So if you got any questions, ask them now. Okay, I already answered this question. My brother called me at 8:48 and asked me if I wanted to go to town. I said no, I was going back to bed. So I laid back down. I was playing on Facebook. I dozed off. I'm not sure what exactly time. I didn't look at the clock. My dog woke me up. I heard the kids outside. And then I dozed back off again. And the next thing you know, I heard Daniel hollering Jack and Lily's name. Then about maybe 5-10 minutes after I heard him, I'm not sure exact what time because I didn't look at the clock.
Okay. This is Janie talking. It's on Facebook. It's all over Facebook. Hello.
Okay, to clear it up, two Boston moms said, so this mom was there that day? Uh-huh. She lives on the property. Her deadbeat sons, Malaya, and at the time, Lily and Jack. And of course, Little Meadow. True Crime Tribe, what's up? What's that tap, tap, tap sound? I keep hearing it on a few channels. It's when they record from a Facebook Messenger call.
Mohawk Mom, guess not. He said he's done over 30 interviews, in my opinion, implying. Okay, let's continue.
And when I opened the door, Malaya was standing there in front of the RV, and I
Who's
said, "What's
Melissa?
up?"
I don't know who Melissa is.
And she said, "The kids are missing. The kids, Lily and Jack, are gone." And I said, "How long?" She said, "About 20 minutes." I don't know what time I seen Malaya outside because I didn't look at the clock. I came in, I grabbed my boots.
I mean, to be honest with you, because people with false profiles went in and leaked them against the rules of the group. Well, let me tell you something. That's why.
Yeah, I feel bad for Justin here, okay? Because he's trying to do a show and somebody's dicking around with him about the rules of some Facebook group. Nobody gives a rat's ass. This is what I care about. Why is it that when a child is missing, certain people in certain cases don't know the time? Okay, Elizabeth Smirt's family knew what time their daughter came in to say that somebody took Elizabeth. J.C. Dugard's stepfather knows exactly what time she was running to the school bus and got grabbed. Tyler Vaughn knows exactly what time he realized Michael wasn't yelling back when he yelled his name, and what time he went to the splash pad when his dad brought Michael back. But we got, oh, I just want to go back to sleep. My brother called me. I just want to go back to sleep. Well, I didn't look at the time. Time is inherent. Time is something that we just know. We may not know that it's 9:53 a.m. Central Time right now, right on the dot, right to the second, but you can seriously just calculate how long your ass has been out of bed, or how long it's been since you had breakfast, or kind of where the sun is in the sky. You have a pretty good guess of what time it is. Now, they love that Facebook shit. They're all over their cell phones. I've got a cell phone next to me looking up the chat. It's got a time on it. They never know what time it is in these cases. Never. They never know. In some cases, not the ones I just mentioned.
I'm just going to tell you right now. When I interview someone, my mods can tell you this. They don't see it. They don't see it. I do my work with me and me only. That's it. That's it. Because I promise you it will be leaked otherwise. And the one thing that I value and I've always kept, right, is if you want to remain anonymous with my sources or whatever, I will know and nobody else. And that's it. And maybe I can help 10 months. Thank you, darling. Appreciate you very, 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 very much, my love. Thank you so very much. And it's nothing personal toward anyone, but that's just how I work. And that's how I've always been able to keep. That's why people come to me and speak. People always come to me and speak because they know.
All right, Justin, I love you to death, but okay, enough of that. Let's get back to the phone call. All right, you don't tell secrets. You don't tell tales out of school. Fine by me, Justin. Let's get to it.
So it will never, ever leak. Ever, 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 ever.
And headed up to the woods.
Okay. I'm going to play that once again. We got more after this. Maybe. Okay, it's not wanting to play. Give me 2 seconds. I don't know why it's not wanting to play again. We got several.
No problem.
Okay, listen to this.
I'm sorry, people, but I do not accept friends' requests, so please don't send them to me.
Christina, it depends what day. I like to be both. Does it matter? Did it matter to you? You're welcome,
Is there
Christina.
anything else you want me to clear up? Because I'm going to bed soon. So if you got any questions, ask them now. Okay, I already answered this question. My brother called me at 8:48 and asked me if I wanted to go to town. I said no, I was going back to bed. So I laid back down. I was playing on Facebook. I dozed off. I'm not sure what exactly time. I didn't look at the clock. My dog woke me up. I heard the kids outside. And then I dozed back off again. And the next thing you know, I heard Daniel hollering Jack and Lily's name. Then about maybe 5-10 minutes after I heard him, I'm not sure exact what time because I didn't look at the clock. And when I opened the door, Malaya was standing there in front of the RV, and I said, "What's up?" And she said, "The kids are missing. The kids, Lily and Jack, are gone." And I said, "How long?" She said, "About 20 minutes."
Malaya standing outside. Malaya staying outside.
Okay, these are some sleepy ass people. I don't know how late they stay up. I don't know what's going on. She woke up to the puppy dog. Her brother called. She heard the kids outside playing. I would like to ask Janie, would this be unusual? Would this be an unusual morning that the kids are outside by themselves because Malaya said they are not allowed to be outside unsupervised? So this is, I guess, verification that the puppy dog was outside with the children. So again, we have a dog that didn't follow its natural instincts and follow the children when they wandered off, or didn't go on high alert and have a shit fit when the children were being, I'll just say, taken. And I don't think they were abducted because law enforcement has already said, no, that didn't happen. So where was the puppy? Why did the puppy not follow them?
I need to look back on one of Daniel's messages because he says something interesting about Malaya being outside.
I don't know what time I seen Malaya outside because I didn't look at the clock. I came in, I grabbed my boots and headed up to the woods.
Okay, she didn't look at her clock. No one asked her. I don't hear anything on the other end. She's just talking freely. I didn't look at the clock. I didn't look at the clock. I just grabbed my boots and went to the woods. Right back to the nature of a dog, especially ones that, play with the kids. If they decided to go in the woods and fart around, the dog would follow them. Nobody's asking her if she knew what time it was. Before you even ask, she's telling you. I didn't even know what time it was. I just grabbed my boots.
She didn't check the time. She didn't check the time. But she knows the time she talks to her brother. You'll notice this in a minute.
So I gave you guys a timeline. 8:48 is when he called me. I dozed off. I don't know exactly what.
8:48 is when she says her brother called Janie, right? Okay.
Time I heard the kids. And according to what, if I read it correctly in the chat between Belinda and Malaya, she said that she called the 911 at about 9:40. So that's what I believe it says. You'd have to check out the conversation between Malaya and Belinda. I'm talking about talking about the discussion between Malaya and Belinda, not the discussion between Malaya and Cindy. Malaya was supposed to tell Belinda, according to her screenshot, that she called 911 at 9:40.
She does. Malaya does say that. in a text message. I don't think she did. I don't think she did. Okay. Next one.
The one about between Malay and Cindy? Is that the one you want me to look at?
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, love. 15 months. You an OG girl. You doing? Okay. Is that all that one was?
The one about between Malay.
I have to rub it in. My OGs have been around 4 or 5 years. Sorry, Justin. That's for you.
And Cindy? Is that the one you want me to look at?
Okay.
Okay, there's something I want to ask you guys about the message that you're putting up on the screen about where it says Cindy Murray. Did you notice that the person in blue, there's no little person beside the message that were sent? Usually when you message someone, the picture of the person comes up at the bottom of the blue. Malaya has the same phone as me. And whenever I
Abigail.
message somebody, my little picture comes up at the bottom of the message. So you see where the blue is lit up? How come there's
Grandma sounds, she doesn't sound like she bakes cookies. She sounds more like she might have a lab.
no little person
And
on
I
the
don't mean a
bottom
dog.
of the messages?
Respectfully. Yes, Rainbow.
Janie's being a little too confrontational for my taste. For someone who has 2 missing grandchildren, police are combing all around her home, her property. Kids are gone. She kicked Malaya to the curb. Literally. She sounds a little too put out and confrontational for someone that should be, not that I wish this upon anyone, someone that should be in some stage of a grieving process. She sounds
There you
pissed.
go. I dropped it.
She sounds pissed to me.
Thank you, Mallory. Thank you, darling. I'm a new Pearl, but I love you and your channel. Your dedication to the cases you cover is second to none. You're doing good things. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mallory. I really, really appreciate that very, very much. And welcome being a new Pearl. We appreciate you very much.
Where's my $5, Mallory? Mallory didn't send me no $5 for my birthday.
We keep it true crime here. And I give it all I can muster. I really do.
Oh, God.
I give it all I can muster in these cases. So thank you.
Okay, there's something I want to ask you guys about the
I don't
message
understand.
that
What is she
you're
saying
putting
here?
up on the screen about where it says Cindy Murray. Did you notice that the person in blue, there's no little person beside the message that were sent? Usually when you message someone, the picture of the person comes up at the bottom of the blue. Malaya has the same phone as me. And whenever I message somebody, my little picture comes up at the bottom of the message. So you see where the blue is lit up? How come there's no little person on the bottom of the messages?
Okay, let's go to the next.
Oh, and I also in my interview told them that if they want to come dig up my driveway, or if they want to come lift my trailer, or lift the RV, or anything they wanted to do, they were more than welcome to come and do it. I have nothing to hide.
Holy hell. Dig up my driveway, lift up my trailer, do whatever you want to do. Woo! OJ, okay. Oh, OJ sneezing. Listen to that. Again, she sounds confrontational. She sounds confrontational. Listen to her again right here.
There you go. I dropped it. Thank you, Mallory. Thank you, darling. I'm a new Pearl, but I love you and your channel. Your dedication to the cases you cover is second to none. You're doing good things. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mallory. I really, really appreciate that very, very much. And welcome being a new Pearl. We appreciate you very much. We keep it true crime here. And I give it all I can muster. I really do. I give it.
I'm not buying it, said Ed Brooks. Can you put this out there, please? Innocent parents like the Vaughns don't enlist a multitude of people to confuse the issue. Yeah, I thought, we spoke about that. I spoke about time, and I mean, you don't see people when they're truly just looking for their children muddy in the water. There's a lot of things that can be learned, not that we want to learn them, by certain families, like the Hornbeck family, the Owensby family, the J.C. Dugard family, the Smart family, the Vaughn family. Grace under fire can't be taught. It just can't. It can't be taught. It is a natural thing that people do when they are just truly wanting the right thing. I think about Sean Hornbeck's mama, which I shouldn't even bring up because we're not talking about an abduction case here. They've already said these children were not abducted. So I'm comparing apples and oranges. I truly am. But I think about how some people don't know how to read an article. Have you noticed that? And so we'll use the Michael Vaughn case for an example. For example, when all of the articles said abduction, 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 every day that goes on, it's more obvious this is an abduction. People still would not leave the family alone. They were still trying to grab at any straw, even though they know they can't do anything about it, to blame the families. They did the same thing with the Sean Hornbeck case. Did not matter what Sean's parents did. They weren't going to have it. They had to have been behind his disappearance. Well, in this case, what we have is law enforcement saying that they're still investigating what led up to the children's disappearance, what surrounded the disappearance, and that there's no abduction. And you got grandma saying, go ahead, dig up my driveway. Go ahead, jack up my trailer. Well, dear Lord.
It all I can muster in these cases. So thank you.
Okay, there's something I want to ask you guys about the
I don't
message
understand.
that
What is she
you're
saying
putting
here?
up on the screen about where it says Cindy Murray. Did you notice that the person in blue, there's no little person beside the message that were sent? usually when you message someone, the picture of the person comes up at the bottom of the blue. Malaya has the same phone as me. And whenever I message somebody, my little picture comes up at the bottom of the message. So you see where the blue is lit up? How come there's no little person on the bottom of the messages?
So what is she trying to accuse Malaya of exactly? That's the question. She thinks it's odd, I guess, with their signal and what they have going on there in Nova Scotia. They communicate via Facebook Messenger. Hey, that's okay. Nothing odd about that. That's how I talk to Kat and Gaelic and lots of people overseas. Not that Nova Scotia's overseas, but you know. So she's finding it suspicious about how the phone looks when she talks to Malaya.
Okay, let's go to the next.
Oh, and I also in my interview told them that if they want to come dig up my driveway, or if they want to come lift my trailer, or lift the RV, or anything they wanted to do, they were more than welcome to come and do it. I have nothing to hide. The kids are not here on this property. But they did put a drone underneath underneath the trailer. They had an army.
So the question is, why did she originally say my trailer, my RV? Why did she originally not want them to go in? Because listen, the dog thing is a non-starter for me, to be quite honest with you. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, honey. Like, put the dog on a damn leash. There's 2 children missing. There's 2 children missing.
They always worry about the dogs, but they don't ask the right questions. Justin's saying, put the dog on a damn leash. You have children missing. Why would you have to put the dog on the leash? The dog should be missing too. Not saying I want the children missing, not saying I want the dog missing. The dog would be missing too, because dogs follow children.
Right. I don't think the kids were in there or anything like that. I want to make that clear. And then why did she start crying about, Mom, they're not blaming you? Right? She could have got someone to walk the dog. Yeah, put the dog on a damn leash. She explains that? Okay. I don't have it all, so. Thank you, Mallory. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Mick. I call you Mickey. Mickey. Thank you so much, Mike.
I was about to say, what the hell, did Mallory give him some more money? I was about to say, damn it, Mallory, you didn't give me nothing for my birthday. I was about to be really offended.
Dear. Thank you so much. Appreciate you very, very much. Hope you're doing well, my friend. How do I pronounce it again? You told me. I can't say it. You told me. I forget. I'm sorry, love. Can check her phone for recent calls to see when he called. Can check her phone for recent calls to see when, like her brother? Migma. Okay, I would have not got that. I would have not got that. Thank you, dear. Appreciate you. She also said the RCMP turned her house upside down. when they did the search. I don't believe that. If they, I mean,
I can answer this. I can answer this. You wouldn't know if that place was turned upside down, just like the Wells house. It's already a mess. It probably looks better now that they had to organize for a search. And I guarantee they went through everything. I guarantee they did. We just heard one of the corporals, one of the investigators, talking about what they have been doing.
no disrespect, Janie, but I don't think you could probably tell. I'm just a little judgy here, but based upon the outside of the home, RV, that you could probably tell whether it was turned upside down or not. I mean, I think.
Okay, so Justin smells what I'm stepping in. Real Gemini said, so seriously, for real, justice for Lily and Jack. I thought you said seriously, no justice for Jack and Lily. And I was like, oh no, they're still working on it. They still own it.
I just don't think you could tell.
I couldn't tell.
Respectfully.
I couldn't.
Army guy come in with this great big drone that they use, and they put it underneath the trailer. And I offered to go underneath the trailer with a flashlight to show them that Jack and Lily weren't under there, and they said no, that they could get under there with the drone.
Yeah, she did let them in. She did let them in. But the thing that gets me, Mama Angie,
She has no choice, and you should never stop what the police are doing when you're looking for your child or a child. Let me just ask you guys this. Let's say in your neighborhood, a child is missing, and you hear this at your door. Police doing routine search, looking at yards, looking at homes, looking for this child. Would you light a cigarette, throw your hand on your hip and say, get a warrant, copper, you pig? Or would you say, oh, absolutely? So this is not something we need to be patting old Janie on the back for. All right? Of course you're going to be compliant. The ones that make it rough or complain about it, there might be something else going on here. You don't want them to come back with a warrant. You do never want a family to look non-compliant with law enforcement when a child is missing. You never want that.
is the RCMP said, well, I'm, going to have to get a warrant. And they supposedly left, according to Belinda. If she had cooperated, that's the way Belinda, in my opinion, made it sound. Right? I mean, I think she's going to protect her kids. Right? I think she's going to protect her kids. And some of the, I believe probably most of this did happen. But I also believe that even if all of this, most of this happened, and she knows something, she's not going to tell. I don't think so. She has 2 sons there. That's her property.
She has 2 grown ass sons there. 2 grown ass sons. There's nothing to protect. 2 grown ass sons. Grown ass mama, grown ass grandma. Got a puppy dog outside. They are not children. They are grown ass sons. There should not be any grass to mow. There should not be any stacked up pallets, skirting falling off the trailer. You got 2 grown ass sons. And on top of that, you certainly should not have 2 missing children. I digress.
That's her life, and those aren't her grandkids. Is that it for that? Okay.
And I'm not here to for you guys to feel sorry for me. I'm just here to tell the truth. You guys have your own opinion of me. I have nothing to say about that. I'm just here to tell the truth. I want Lily and Jack found, and that's all I want.
Thank you, Andy.
Oh, there's one thing that I forgot to mention. On my interview, and I'll tell you now, on my interview about the sliding door, the lady that did the interview, her name is Allie, very nice lady. She was the one that opened the door. I asked her to do it for me so everybody wouldn't think that I was doing something to disrupt this investigation, or people saying, oh, she opened it up lightly, or she did this, or she did that. I got Allie to open the door twice. So she was the one that opened up the door.
Let me just say right here, I don't give a wooden fucking nickel. Pardon my French. If
Woo! Justin has wooden nickels. Woo! I got some nickels too. Look at that. Sarah Smith just left me a super sticker. Look at that. Look at that. Thank you so much, Sarah.
that door is silent, 0 decibels, no decibels at all.
I will say this, and I know some people argued with me about the door. You can't hear the door. You can't hear the door. I'm like, so you're telling me that the one thing that is maintained on the entire property, the one thing is that door. It is well oiled. It is level. You don't have to get it back on its track. I mean, it's like it's on ice. You're telling me it's just like it's on ice. It just, you grab the handle and it just slides right open. Now, nothing else in the house is clean, maintained, has been fixed. This door BS is one of their first lies.
The fact is, you had a preschooler, and a 6-year-old, a kindergartner in there, and your ass, both of your asses are laid up, and you supposedly have sick kids home for the last 2 days. Nobody got their asses up and checked on the kids. Okay. And you didn't have a fucking lock or a chain or anything on there. I don't give a shit. That burns my ass right there.
How was Janie the door expert all of a sudden? How was Janie the door expert? That is one thing that they all agree on. You can't hear the door, so you wouldn't know. I don't see old Janie coming over for barbecue once a week to see the grandkids and get to know Malaya and see Daniel. How is she the door expert now?
There. That really does. Don't make an excuse. Don't make an excuse. That's bullshit. When my kids were little, I literally had I'm psycho though, a little. I go overboard probably, but I had doorknobs with kid door covers. They were locked inside of that. I had a chain on the very top. I had installed those chains so they can't open them from the inside. And also, I had this thing around the metal doorknob. If they took that thing off and somehow unlocked it and somehow unchained it, that an alarm would go off. Now, I understand not everyone has the same resources or whatever, but let me tell you something. No matter what your resources are, you do what you have to do to keep your kids safe on your watch. You're the parent.
They have plenty of resources. Have you seen that yard? That yard looks like they could have built a fort to keep people away from the kids. Goodness, I counted tons of wood, pallets. Got a whole damn forest right there. And you got all the time in the world on your hands. Shit, they could have just put a broom handle in it.
So, miss me with that bullshit.
Woo! Woo, Justin.
And by the way, thank you, Sandy. Daniel, I forgot to mention that yesterday. You, in one article, said you heard the door. People forget that one.
Now, I'm going to say this. Kids are out of school. Yes, they heard the door. Janie didn't hear the door. Janie supposedly heard the puppy dog and the kids outside playing. I actually believe that. She's not going to hear the door. She's, I'm going to say, trailers away. Trailers away. Malaya, well, I mean, according to her, she's in and out of consciousness. So I don't know what the hell was going on there. Daniel did say he heard the door. Now, again, this is what I'm going to say. That's not a crime. That's not a crime. Kids are allowed to go play in their yard. They really are. Now, I think you should get off your ass and look out the window every now and then, get you a cup of coffee and sit on the patio and watch them. But that's not going to get anyone locked up because your kids went outside to play. And kids should play. Kids should play outside. They shouldn't be sitting in front of the game box all the time. They shouldn't be sitting there watching TV all the time. They need some fresh air. They need some exercise. You know, that type of stuff.
So, I don't know with what the problem is of getting your ass up, seeing if your child, the child goes to sleep at 7 p.m. and it's 6:15 p.m. You're up anyways. Walk your ass through that trailer and peek your head in the door and check on them. Ask them if they want breakfast or something. Right? I mean,
it appears to me, even though the children are 4 and 6, they sort of have what you call free range parenting. Like, we're just going to lay in bed and they'll find them a Pop-Tart. Oh, they'll grab a chair and they'll get the Cheerios off the counter. And, well, we have a little bit of milk left. That's how it looks to me. They're not going to jump right up and say, "Can I get you some food?" I call it fucking lazy. But I call it fucking lazy parenting. That's just me. They're not, they aren't the type of parents that are going to jump up and say, well, are you feeling okay? I know you didn't go to school yesterday. I know you didn't go to school on Wednesday. So I'm keeping you out again today. Let me cut you up some fresh strawberries, and you're going to have your orange juice. And if I hear you cough again, I'm going to take you to the doctor. No, that's not how they are. That is not how they are. It's gross.
Let's say it's 9:40, or let's say it's 9 o'clock.
Okay, is there any more to this video?
See Malaya at the end of the driveway. Malaya was seen in front of my RV when I opened the door. About 5 or 10 minutes after Daniel was hollering for the kids, I opened the door and Malaya was standing in front of my RV. And I asked her what was up. She said the kids are missing. I said, how long? She said 20 minutes. See Malaya at the end of the driveway. Malaya was seen in front of my RV when I...
Okay, here's the question. This is the question for Janie, and the person she's talking to didn't answer it. So she hears the kids outside playing. She hears the puppy dog outside with the kids. At some point, obviously, she didn't hear the children anymore because she heard Daniel yelling for them. And then Malaya says to her, they've been missing for 20 minutes. My question for Janie, all her shit about the trailer, the driveway, Malaya was in front of the RV. Hell, I tell you what, I'd be blacklighting that RV. How long had it been since Janie heard the kids outside playing? When Malaya said they've been missing for about 20 minutes, did Janie go through her methed out mind and go, I swore I just heard him. I swore I just heard him. The only time she can give you is when her brother called. Would you not question yourself a little bit and say, I just heard him? And now you're telling me they've been missing for 20 minutes? Huh. Okay. I got more problems with this than Carter had liver pills.
I opened the door about 5 or 10 minutes after Daniel was hollering for the kids. I opened the door and Malaya was standing in front of my RV.
What? You sound like you're really trying to remember something hard, Janie. That doesn't sound like someone who lived something. I'm just saying, that part right there does not sound like you lived that. My opinion.
I'm going to get myself in trouble here. Janie is a bitch. Janie is detached. Janie is inconvenienced. You know why? Because she could give a rat's ass about Malaya. She kicked her to the curb. She could give a rat's ass about Lily, Jack, or Meadow. Meadow is in child protective custody. She doesn't care. She's inconvenienced. Why are you bothering me with this? Freaking RVs and dogs and everything. Pat K said there's no effing way I would have let my son go outside while I slept. I just can't get over that. Oh, I wouldn't either. But it seems like that's the norm for them. Well, we're going to lay in bed, and like I said, they can go get them a toaster strudel or whatever. They can, feed the kids like Andrew Hiltz does. Go get you piece of white bread and some milk and sit there and turn on the TV. There's no hands-on parenting here. No, there's not.
This message keeps screwing. This video keeps screwing up. 1 second.
Who's screwing with Justin? Quit screwing with Justin.
See Malaya at the end of the driveway. Malaya was seen in front of my RV when
Malaya was seen in front of my RV. Malaya was out in front of the driveway. Then she says Malaya was seen in front of my RV. Seen by who? You? Because if that was true, you would generally say, I seen Malaya out in front of the driveway and then in front of my RV. You would take ownership of that. Now, I'm just going to tell you right now that I hadn't heard that message. I kind of thought, I've always kind of thought she would protect Daniel and her kids, but now hearing that messages, who did, Sherry?
Does this make sense to anyone that Janie would be so protective of grown-ass men, kick Malaya to the curb, who had been living on her property for 2+ years, but not protective over babies? Meadow is her grandchild, biologically. Lily and Jack, she's just like, those kids were outside playing. Those kids were outside playing with the dog. I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
The door.
and we dropped him off with some of his friends, and then Justin and I took off back home. So Daniel was on the bike, sitting on the front of the bike. So there was me, Justin, and Daniel on the bike. He was sitting on the front of it. But Justin and I had the bike out all day.
So the three amigos. The three amigos was on the ATV. What'd I tell you? She's going to protect hers.
No excuse for that. And how convenient that the boot print was by the pipeline, and that's where they took the ATV. Is it not? Is it not? Her, Daniel, and her other son, OJ, that's mine, get on the ATVs. Where was the boot print? Reported by the news. Not by Janie, not by Daniel, but by the news. Interesting. And there's a huge difference between a bike and an ATV. There's a big difference between a bike and a motorcycle. There's a big difference between a lawnmower and a tractor. You see what I'm saying? Huge difference.
Hold on, what was that? What do you mean, Brandy?
No, Daniel did not drive the ATV. I told you it was Justin and I that were out on the bike all day. We picked Daniel up on the pipeline on an old road. We went up, Justin and I went up the pipeline. We went off on an old road and we found Daniel there. We picked Daniel up. Daniel was sitting on the front of the bike. So there was Justin, me, and Daniel on the bike. And we drove Daniel back to his friends that were on the pipeline. And Justin and I came back home.
What day was this? What day were they on the four-wheeler? Why do you pick him up? For what? He's looking for kids. Can one of Daniel's supporters write up in chat what day this was? Anyone know? Day one. Interesting.
It was on the day they went missing. It was on the day they went missing. That's what Janie is trying to say. Okay? Too many pauses for me. Too many things like that. Now, let's go back to what the police are saying. They are reviewing video. They're not reviewing Janie's bullshit. Okay? They're not. They're not. They're talking about the pink blanket. And they're talking about, obviously, Lily and Jack. And they're talking about thousands of hours of video. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw it in chat, but tomorrow we have a very special, important live. You want to go ahead and get reminded for it. It is right there. Yep, let me make sure I did that right. Hang on, let me look on my phone. Oh, we got some special shit going on tomorrow.
Outside the Sullivan home in Lansdowne Station, a single orange ribbon flutters. Behind it, a poster with the faces of Lily and Jack, smiling. It's been 2.5 months since the two young children disappeared. They were last seen in May and were believed to have wandered into the woods behind their home.
A tremendous amount of careful, deliberate investigative work is underway by people here at home and in other parts of Canada.
Despite extensive searches on foot, by helicopter, with dogs and drones, crews found nothing. No footprints, no clothing, no trace of where the children may have gone.
Right now, there are more than 800 tasks associated to this investigation.
The investigation has grown into one of the largest in Nova Scotia RCMP history, with over 600 tips from across Canada and beyond, and 5,000 video files currently under review.
Surveillance cameras, trail cams, doorbell cameras. We did a further request for information in a news release to the public a little bit later in May.
Rumors have been swirling ever since the kids went missing, and with so little information being shared, it's only added fuel to the fire, leading many to believe them.
Try not to follow the rumors, but
I'm sure there's tons of rumors in that area. I mean, shoot. You go to any of the Facebook groups, you can look at comments in different YouTube chats, comments in different news articles. There's tons of he said, she said, I think. I think at this point going on 3 months, well, at some point you're not a conspiracy theorist. You're just effing right.
you know, they're getting more grounding, the rumors, because of the fact that the RCMP have found nothing.
And while they say the investigation is moving forward under the Missing Persons Act, many in the community feel like they're standing still.
Most people will say to me that the best hope is if somebody did take those little, I mean, if those kids were in the woods, I think most people in Pictou County now are thinking they would have found something. They would have found a shred of clothes. They would have found anything.
So far, 60 people have been interviewed. Some have undergone polygraph testing, and one item found during the search is now undergoing forensic analysis,
including a pink blanket that officers seized on Lansdowne Road, and submitting judicial authorizations to seize and examine materials and devices that may provide information useful to the investigation.
Back at the Sullivan home, the orange ribbon remains, slightly faded by sun and time, but still holding on. Hafsa RFC TV News, Lansdowne Station.
Woo, 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 woo. Tammy said if no arrest comes soon, the town should get together and protest around the cop station. We need answers soon. Let's hope we get them. I hope for answers soon too. I don't think that's the way to get police to work faster. It's never worked in the past, but hey, maybe. It doesn't look like it's going cold because they continually update. All right, you guys want an off topic, a little pick-me-up story, since this was kind of a downer, I would say. All right. This boy had been bullied around his high school. Okay. Then he grabbed the mic and entered the talent show. And he's truly talented. Look at this. I bet those bullies won't ever think about this again. Well, he doesn't have the same moves as Michael, but boy, he did a really good job. I bet he practiced on that for a long time. And I hope whatever competition they're having, I hope he wins. You can tell, doesn't exactly have old Michael Jackson's lung capacity, because he got winded really fast. He was already like, I'm like, yeah, that's okay. I thought he did a great job. Good for Elijah. Good for Elijah. I love stories like that. We've had a lot of really cool stories this week. You know, dogs stealing sandwiches, dogs turn themselves into the police. If you missed our second show yesterday, it's one that's really personal to us because it's a very good friend of ours who a friend of hers was murdered. And we did a show about that yesterday afternoon. So a lot of stuff going on, my friends. A lot of stuff going on. Well, if I don't see you in Discord, if I don't see you in the Facebook groups or whatever, I agree with you, Sarah. We need more humor. Then I will see you back here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. If you are not a member, please become one because you're going to love this show tomorrow. It is going to be a very fun show. I'm going to put the link right now for members because sometimes we like to do things behind the scenes. All right, you guys, you have a great rest of your day. Again, I will see you back here tomorrow morning, unless you want to come hang out somewhere else. You guys are the best. Best mods, best friends, best everything on these nasty, filthy YouTube streets.